Commander Hall got some skills.
Check it out.
Check it out. All that legal stuff. What's up, security family? Welcome back to Security Guard Command. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. So, last night, Commander Hall posted a video, and it was one of his body cam videos showing an altercation that's going on. And he made a comment that really resonated with me. And he said this.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about what's going on between y'all, but y'all, you gotta go. Just take it over there. After hours, that's between y'all.
You right. Same day and night. You don't try to see this brother do it. Man, shit. What's up, sir? How you doing? Doing all right? Yeah. Right.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm straight.
Oh, well, you need to go across there with your shirt off.
No, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go across there. What's up?
See, then he over there doing transactions. Like, what he doing now? They ain't gonna stop until he leave. They ain't gonna stop until he leave. They ain't gonna stop until he leave.
Now, the reason this resonated with me is because this is something that is vital for security officers to know when dealing with a dispute of some sort between two parties. And what he said essentially is he was able to identify the catalyst for the dispute. And what a catalyst is in chemistry, a catalyst is a chemical that causes a reaction when you add it to another chemical. For example, when you mix vinegar and baking soda together, baking soda by itself is pretty stable, and even the vinegar by itself is somewhat stable, but vinegar is an acid, so it is corrosive. But when you keep the two separate, nothing happens. But as soon as you mix that vinegar into baking soda, you start to get a reaction where the mixture fizzes up, and basically they neutralize each other. And so the catalyst in this case would be the vinegar. And so Commander Hall, and he showed some incredible skill in dealing with the situation. When he said that, he was able to identify who the catalyst was, or who was the one who was actually causing the dispute. And to be quite honest, it's not always the loudest person. It's not always the person that's showing the aggression either. So developing the skill in security is pretty important, because you've got to be able to quickly identify who the root cause of the problem is, and then separate that factor from the group. So you take that person and you remove them from the group. And if you ever observe a police officer when he gets on scene to a dispute, the first thing that they do is separate the parties. Because when you separate the parties, the reaction ceases to happen. There's several reasons that police officers will separate a group. First, just to diffuse the situation, to separate and stop the reaction from occurring. Second, when additional officers arrive, they will interview the two parties separately and get different statements. And it's important to separate them, because when you get a statement from somebody and the other party cannot listen, they can't try to match their story to that other story, and so you get the truth out of two stories. So you separate the two people so you can get the facts. And if they can't hear each other, then they're not going to be able to adapt their story to try to fit the narrative of the other person and try to preempt that other person's story. And so you'll notice that, and if two officers arrive, they'll immediately separate them and start taking a statement from both parties separately. And then you end up being able to get to the truth a lot easier when the parties are separated. But the primary goal of security is not really to investigate what happened, but to diffuse the situation as quickly and as safely as possible. So if a security officer arrives on scene to a dispute between two separate parties, it's important to be able to identify which party is the aggressor or the catalyst in this situation. And your objective is to get them separated from the other party, get them out of there, and if necessary, just stand in between the two parties and put some distance between them. And when you do this, the situation will diffuse itself. And remember, it's not always the loudest person that's the problem. The loudest person could be a person who's been wronged and very upset by being wronged. So you can't just use that as your basis for what's going on. And if you separate the victim in the situation, then essentially what you're doing is you're allowing the true aggressor to come back into the situation at any point, and that could create a potentially dangerous situation for you as the security officer, because now your attention is no longer focused on the true cause of the problem, and they could potentially come back behind you or come at you when you're not expecting it, when your attention is focused on the wrong party. So, it's important to develop the skill. In my experiences in the past, working at a nightclub in security, we had to identify the aggressor in the group very quickly. We had to ascertain very quickly who was the one causing the problems. We immediately went up to them, started talking to them, and we say, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you over this music. Let's go. Let me talk to you. Let me find out what's going on." And then, we act like we're on their side. We want to hear their story. And it's so important to listen and to let them know that you want to listen, because when you want to listen to them, they want to talk to you. They want to tell you what's going on because they're pissed off. They want to have their side heard. So you say, "Let's go outside because I can't hear you with this music. I want to hear what you have to say." As soon as you step out the door, you go back in and you pull the door shut and you signal the door guard, the guy at the door. You make a symbol like this, basically saying he's not allowed back in. And the guy is basically outside, and the situation has been diffused. Then you attract your attention back to the party inside. You get their statement, and then at that point you have to decide, or you have to let them know, "Hey, we don't allow situations here. We don't think it's your fault, but our policy is to have you leave for the night." And most of the time they'll be understanding, say, "We're really sorry, and here's a coupon for a free drink next time you come in," or something to that effect, so that they're not feeling like they're getting shafted. But we understand that they're a little hyped up, and we just got to get all the problems out of the club. And that was our solution. We just asked them to leave, and most of the time they were fine with that, especially when we offered, a coupon for a free drink or a free entry to another event on another night. So that was one tactic that we used in the nightclub. If you're in a store or a parking lot and you've got two people arguing, the best thing you can do is just try to identify who the true aggressor is, and then ask them to go move aside. You tell the other party, you stay over here, and then you go talk to the other party, and tell them you want to listen, you want to hear, you want to get their side of the story, find out what's going on. And it's not so much your intent to investigate, but to give them an excuse to be farther away from the other party. And given enough time, sometimes even just a few minutes, the situation cools down, they got their side heard, and once they've told their story and they feel like they've been listened to, they calm down and the situation has been resolved. No need for any further interaction. You just let it go, you make your report, and that's that, and you've done a good job. So anyway, just wanted to leave you guys with that. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there.